हरे कृष्णा। हाँ, ओके। तो सुदामा प्रभु ने जो भी बताया वो सब वैष्णवों की कृपा से ही संभव हो पाए। जो भी मेरे अंदर है नहीं है वो मेरा डिफेक्ट है। जो भी है वो वैष्णवों की कृपा है। एक्चुअली मैं बताऊंगा आपको कैसे हो, मतलब वैष्णवों की कृपा है। अगर वैष्णवों की कृपा नहीं होती तो आज मैं यहाँ पे नहीं होता और शायद दुनिया में भी नहीं होता। ऐसा। हम एक भजन गाएंगे छोटा सा। राधा कृष्णा बोल बोल बोलो रे सबई। हाँ, मृदंग में गाता हूँ। आपके पास ऐप है ना, you can put it on group too. मिल गया सबको? हरे कृष्णा। श्रीला भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर की। तो ये भजन श्रीला भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर ने लिखा है। इसका ट्रांसलेशन हम लोग पहले पढ़ लेंगे। राधा कृष्णा बोल बोल बोलो रे सबई, ए शिक्षा दिया सब ना दिया, फिरचे नेचे गौर निताई। विनोद ठाकुर बोल रहे हैं, चैंट चैंट राधा कृष्णा, एवरीवन चैंट। When Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda came dancing through Nadia, they gave these teachings. Chant, chant, Radha Krishna, everyone chant. Miche mayar bose, jacho bhese, khacho habu dubu bhai. You are caught up in a whirlpool of senseless action and are sinking lower and lower. Chant, chant, Radha Krishna, everyone chant. जीवा कृष्ण दास ए विश्वास करले तो आर दुखो नहीं, कृष्ण बोलबे जबे पुलक हवे, झोरबे आँखी बोली ताई. Saying, if you just understand that the spirit soul is the eternal servant of Krishna, you will never have any more sorrows. So, one who wants to become eternally happy, he just has to accept that he is eternal servant of Krishna. As soon as he accepts this thing and acts according to this instruction, then his life is full of happiness eternally, no more sorrows. This sorrow comes because of rejecting this instruction or this position. That is the only reason of becoming sorrowful, or whatever misery we get. That is the main reason, because we have rejected our natural position, that is eternal servant of Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna and your eyes will fill with tears and your body will feel transcendental shivering. Chant, chant Radha Krishna, everyone chant. राधा कृष्ण बोलो संगे चलो, ए मात्र भिखा चाई, जय सकल विपोद भक्ति विनोद, बोले जाखो ओ नाम गाई. Simply chant Radha Krishna and join with us. Those are the only alms we beg. Chant, chant Radha Krishna, everyone chant. All dangers will be gone when that name is chanted, says Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Chant, chant Radha Krishna, everyone chant. ये बहुत अच्छा भजन है. राधा कृष्ण बोल बोल बोलो रे सब श्री राधा कृष्ण बोल बोल बोलो रे सब दिया सबना दिया फिर चेने चे घोर निताई पीछे मायार बोसे जाचो भेसे खाचो हाबू रूबू भाई দাস এ বিশ্বাস করলে তো আর দুঃখ নাই কৃষ্ণ বলবে যাবে পুলক হবে ঝরবে আঁখি বলি তাই कृष्णा बोलो संगे चलो यही मात्र लिखा जाए गाय सकल विपोत भक्ति विनोद बोले जाको ओ नाम गाई कृष्णा बोल बोल बोलो रे सब राधा कृष्णा बोल बोल Gaurango Jayo Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jayo Nitai Gaurango Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada श्री श्री निताई गौर सुंदर भगवान की श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे कृष्णा तो आज हम पढ़ेंगे श्रीमद् भगवद गीता से ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। तो आज का विषय है श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अध्याय 3, इसका शीर्षक है कर्म योग और श्लोक संख्या 35। So before reading this verse, I will give some background of this verse. So in first chapter we saw Arjuna became confused by seeing his relatives, friends and grandfathers, uncles, everyone was assembled there for fighting with him. So because of compassion or many other reasons, he was confused whether to fight or not, and then he surrendered to Krishna. Shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Please tell me what is good for me. I am your surrendered disciple. Then Krishna starts explaining many things. He explains everything in Bhagavad Gita, or second chapter. Whatever reasons Arjuna tells Krishna that this is the reason I am not going to fight. So Krishna refutes all these arguments, all the reasons, whatever Arjuna gives. And in the second chapter only he explains every yoga. Buddhi yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, everything he explains. Then again Arjuna becomes confused. Because in second chapter Krishna tells Arjuna that by Buddhi yoga you keep away from bad activities. Buddhi yoga dhananjaya. दूरे ही अवरम कर्म बुद्धि योगा धनंजय, कि आप मतलब बुरे कर्मों से दूर रहो बुद्धि योग का प्रयोग करके. Then Arjuna thought that Krishna is telling me that this by using my intelligence I should not fight, because fighting is not a good activity. but he understood it wrongly. And then what he, so that Arjuna again, at the end of second chapter, again Krishna told Arjuna that you should fight. Then Arjuna became confused. Are, Krishna is telling me that using buddhi yoga I should keep away from fighting, and then he is still urging me to fight. So what is this? Then again Arjuna asked question in third chapter beginning, that please tell me one thing. I am confused with your equivocal instructions. So please tell me certainly what is good for me. Then again uh, he asks that whether I should work or I should renounce the work. Then Krishna explains that working in detached spirit. So first he explains uh, this karma yoga. He explains this third chapter. He explains, and he says that one who works for the pleasure of supreme, then they are released from the bondage of fruitive activities. Then he instructs so many things, and he gives examples that how people work in detached spirit. Whose example he gives? Janak Maharaj. And one more example he gives. That is of himself only he gives. That although need not to work, similarly Janak Maharaj also did not work because he is self-realized soul, but still he works for what? For setting example for general populace, that how one can work in detached spirit. So to set example, he gives example of Janak Maharaj and of himself also. Then in 30th verse, he instructs that, therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. He gives instruction and concludes. Then he tells that those persons who execute their duties according to my instructions and who follow these teachings faithfully, without envy, become free from the bondage of fruity actions. So जो भी whoever works according to the instructions of Krishna, then he will be freed from the bondage of fruitive activities. And one who does not follow, for them also Krishna says, but those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. These things happen. It's like Dhritarashtra, although he was instructed by many people, such great souls like Vidura, Akrura, and Krishna himself, but he did not listen, and then ultimately he was ruined of all his sons and all his properties, everything. So this happens, one who doesn't work according to Krishna's instructions. And then Krishna starts explaining one important concept, that even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can reference and accomplish? That everyone has to work according to his nature. He cannot suddenly renounce the work he is doing, and he like declare himself as sannyasi or renunciate or self-realized person. He cannot do that. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion, because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self realization. So he talks about two things, two opposite things, this attachment and aversion. To understand these two principles is very, very important. Like sometimes some person they are doing some, in their nature some bad habit is there, or something bad they are doing which they are not supposed to do. Then hearing good instructions, they just give up, mm, immediately decide that I will not do. But because that is their nature, so again they will do the same thing unwillingly. It's like this case Radheshyam Prabhu gives example. It's like there is a curd in one vessel. So if we throw the curd, but still some remnants are there in the vessel. If we don't wash the vessel completely, and without washing only, again we heat some milk in that vessel, and again that milk will be spoiled. So similarly, we just give up artificially that thing, and don't try to like uproot it completely through gradual process according to instructions of Guru Sadhu Shastra Krishna. Then there will be remnants of those bad habits or those bad things. Some impressions will be there, and they again will come attack us, and they will completely spoil us. Or sometimes they come more intensely actually, and we are not able to face them nicely. So Lord Krishna instructs this verse how one has to uh, purify himself gradually. 35th verse, we will recite it. श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः पर परधर्मात् स्व अनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्व अनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्व अनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह. Someone wants to recite? श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह. श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वानुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह. One last. श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वानुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावह. What word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shreyan, far better. Swadharmaha, one's prescribed duties. Vigunaha, even faulty. Paradharmat, then duties mentioned for others. Su anushtitat, perfectly done. Swadharme, in one's prescribed duties. Nidhanam, destruction. Shreyaha, better. Paradharmaha, duties prescribed for others. Bhaya avaha, dangerous. Translation. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. तात्पर्य purport. तो इसमें in this Krishna is telling it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties. Prescribed duties means so many times comes in Bhagavad Gita prescribed duties. Someone knows about prescribed duties. What is prescribed duty? Prescribed duties means which are given by scriptures according to our varnashrams according to our nature. It's like for Brahmanas, it is patan patan yajan yajan dana pratigraha. To study the scriptures, patan means to teach the scriptures to others. Yajan means to perform sacrifices. Yajan means to teach others to perform sacrifices. And dana, taking charity, accepting charity, and pratigraha means dan means giving charity, pratigraha means to accepting charity. Accepting charity, and then whatever is surplus to give others. They cannot keep uh, accumulating money. That is real Brahmana. Just like one example comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Once one king was there in Satyuga. So he performed a sacrifice, great sacrifice, and he donated Brahmanas so much gold. Means in sacrifice also, every vessel, everything was made of gold. This Yagyavedi, all the vessels, everything, whatever was used, so everything was made of gold. And he donated like a large quantity of gold to Brahmanas. And Brahmanas, they accepted as a matter of etiquette, but as soon as they came out of that sacrificial arena, they thought that what we will do with this gold, this is like burden for us, so they threw it there only, and it became like a great mountain of gold at that time. And then later on, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was going to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, he was very anxious to get money from where we will get the wealth to perform sacrifice, Ashwamedha sacrifice or Rajasuya sacrifice. Then Krishna told, because Krishna knew everything. Krishna told Arjuna that that side there is a mountain of gold. You bring whatever is required for your sacrifice. Then Arjuna went and he saw the golden mountain there, and he brought whatever was needed, and then Rasuya Yag was performed. So that is the quality of Brahmana, prescribed duty of Brahmana. He cannot accumulate. Similarly, we see in the example of Chanakya. Chanakya Pandit, he was prime minister of which king? Chandragupta Maurya. But he was living in a hut, straw hut. घास का कुटिया में वो रहते थे, और there was no servant. His old mother was there and his wife was there. So they used to cook food and they used to honor prasadam. So Chandragupta Maurya, he offered him that you can have a nice palace also, but he rejected that. I cannot have. So that is true Brahmana. Srila Prabhupada quotes this many times. So that is Brahmana. That is the prescribed duty of Brahmana. He cannot accumulate. Whatever is surplus, he has to give in charity. A true Brahmana will do that. Similarly, for Kshatriyas to rule, and he should not run away from the battlefield. Similarly, for Vaishyas, Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijyam, to protect cows and do agriculture and everything. For Sudras, serving other three classes. So that is the prescribed duties. So Krishna is telling it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duty perfectly. So he is telling that one should not perform another person's duty or another varna's duty if one is in another varna. It's like a brahmana should not do the work of a kshatriya. We see so many examples in the scriptures. When Vishwamitra Muni was troubled by the Rakshasas, Tadaka, Subhahu, Subhahu, Marich, and he had the power to destroy them, but he did not do because he is Brahmana. So he approached Maharaj Dasrath and took Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana to destroy the Rakshasas because he knew that it is the duty of Kshatriya. Actually, earlier he was also Kshatriya. Then he performed tapasya and he became Brahmarshi. Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra was earlier, he was Kshatriya. He took birth in Kshatriya family and he was Kshatriya also. But to take revenge from Brahmarshi Vasishtha Muni, he performed tapasya and he got the status of Brahmarshi. And when we became Brahmarshi, then automatically that envy was gone. And then he asked forgiveness from Vasishtha Muni. And they became friends. Similarly, like there is so many examples are there. So it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties even though faultily. अगर उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ भी हो जाए तो भी हमको वही करना चाहिए जो हमारे लिए प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है. गड़बड़ भी हो रहा चाहे हम लोग उसमें परफेक्ट नहीं है, उसमें अच्छे नहीं है, फिर भी हमको वही करना चाहिए. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. तो दूसरे का जो ड्यूटी प्रिस्क्राइब्ड ड्यूटी है उसको करना हमारे लिए डेंजरस है. How it is dangerous? It is told in this purport. The Prabhupada tells. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Materially, prescribed duties are duties enjoined according to one's psychophysical condition under the spell of the modes of material nature. So this is about material duties. Material duties are what? Which are prescribed according to one's mode of material nature. So we see there are 18 Puranas, 6 Puranas dedicated for the persons who are in mode of goodness, what they should do. Similarly, 6 Puranas are there for the persons who are in mode of passion, and similarly for in mode of goodness. And Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, he describes in detail about these 3 modes of material nature and people who are in the 3 modes of material nature, what they eat, how do they behave, what do they do, everything is described. And then spiritual duties are as ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But what the spiritual duties are what? Which are given by our superiors for the service of Krishna. They are called spiritual duties. Whatever it is. So for that, we cannot say that I am in mode of goodness, I cannot do this. No, spiritual duties are not like that. Spiritual duties means whatever is told by spiritual master, that is our spiritual duty. And that we have to do. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate another's prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of the modes of material nature, one should follow the prescribed rules for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a Brahmana who is in the mode of goodness is non-violent, whereas a Kshatriya who is in the mode of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a Kshatriya, it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principles of non-violence. So, here Srila Prabhupada is telling that a Kshatriya, even if he dies in the battlefield fighting, that is best for him rather than following the principles of Brahmana and going and begging. Just like Arjuna was telling that I will not fight, I will go to forest, I will take a Vesha of sannyasi and it will be better for me to maintain myself by begging. Arjuna told this. So Krishna is telling that you should not do this. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. So, so when we also come to Krishna consciousness, then we should not abruptly take up like someone. Some people say that I want this saffron dress. As soon as they hear first class, they want to take the saffron. But it cannot be done like that. One has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process. And what is gradual process? It is prescribed by Srila Prabhupada. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. So till the time we are in the modes of material nature, then at that time we have to follow the rules and regulations prescribed by the spiritual master. And then when spiritual master sees that this devotee has transcended the mortal modes of nature, then he can give him any suggestion he will be able to do. Or Krishna says that as soon as we surrender to the instructions of spiritual master or Krishna himself, then actually immediately we transcend the modes of material nature. He says, Mam chayo abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So as soon as one surrenders to Krishna, spiritual master, then immediately he transcends the modes of material nature and he should act according to the guidance of the spiritual master. So devotee is like that only. He can, under the guidance of his spiritual master, he can act as a Brahmana also, as a Kshatriya also, as a Vaishya also, Sudra also. Whatever is needed, he can do. We see in case of so many Srila Prabhupada disciples, they did whatever uh, Srila Prabhupada told them. They did not consider, they did not argue that I am in the mentality of Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, so I will not be able to do this. No, they did. Although they were like completely most degraded people of that time and lower than Sudra even, still because they followed Srila Prabhupada's instructions and they became great people. So that is the nature of spiritual duties. Spiritual duties means which are given by a spiritual master. That does not these duties they don't depend on these material modes of nature, which modes we are in. No. Because as soon as we completely, fully surrender to spiritual master or Krishna, then immediately we are beyond the modes. Sagunan samitityetan. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as a Brahmana or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya. So in that stage, one who has transcended the material nature, material modes, then they can act according to need. Here examples are given. For examples, in the transcendental stage, the distinctions of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later on he acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parshuram was a Brahmana, but later on he acted as a Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so, But as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have a full sense of Krishna consciousness. Here, examples are given that one who is transcendentally situated in Krishna consciousness, then he can act. The example of Vishwamitra and Parshuram. Because Vishwamitra, he transcended the modes of material nature by his austerities and he became Brahmarsi. And then he could act as a Brahmana, although he was born in Kshatriya family. Similarly, Lord Parshurama, although he appeared in a Brahmana's family, but because he was the Supreme Lord, incarnation of Supreme Lord, he is beyond the modes of material nature. So he could act as a Kshatriya and no one could face him. No, even Maharaj Dasrath, father of Lord Ramchandra, he could not face him. I was hearing lecture on Ramayana that because of fear of Parsuram, to avoid fighting with Parsuram, Dasrath Maharaj married 350 times. He had principally three queens: Kaushalya, Mother Kaushalya, Mother Kekai, and Mother Sumitra. But he had 350 other wives. How he got them? So this Lord Parsuram, whenever he used to come to attack to Dasharatha Maharaj, because Lord Parsuram took vow that I will like wipe out all the Kshatriyas. But if some Kshatriya is engaged in wedding at that time, then he will not disturb him. So whenever Lord Parsuram used to come to attack Dasharatha Maharaj, immediately he used to engage himself in marriage. Like 350 times Lord Parsuram tried to attack him, but all the times he was engaged in marriage. So that's how he avoided, he was saved. Otherwise, Dasarath Maharaj also would be wiped out by Lord Parsuram. On the other hand, we see that this Aswathama was the son of Brahmana, Dronacharya, and he took the occupation of Kshatriya. But because he did not transcend the modes of material nature, so his this Kshatriya occupation became destructive for himself also and for others also, for Pandavas. He took this business of Kshatriya, although he was a Brahmana's son. So he killed these 5 sons of Pandavas mercilessly, and then he released Brahmastra on Parikshit Maharaj and even on the Pandavas and then Arjuna and that. So this is the dangerous effect of not working according to one's own nature or one's own guna till the time we are not purified of these material modes of nature. If we work, if we still are not purified and we work out of our like हमारा नेचर के विरुद्ध अगेंस्ट आवर नेचर काम करेंगे, that will be destructive for others also, for us also. That is not good. That is, Lord is Krishna is telling, to follow another's path is dangerous. We see in this Aswathama's case. Yes. And we see many examples of devotees actually, not like transcended the modes of material nature, and they acted according to the directions of their spiritual master. Just like we see Lord Hanuman. Hanuman was great warrior in Treta Yuga. No one could match him, and he was having such powers that he could destroy whole Lanka single-handedly. But he did not do that because there was no instruction of Lord Ramchandra. And when we come into Dwapar Yuga, then in the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna instructed Hanuman to be on the flag of Arjuna's chariot. Be there only and you shout That was his job. But we see in the beginning of battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna became confused. He started crying. Then Hanuman saw all these things, but हनुमान और उतर के उससे नीचे नहीं आए और कृष्णा को ऐसे नहीं बोला कि देखो अरे इनको छोड़ो ये ऐसे रो रहे हैं मैं खुद अभी जाके सबको खत्म कर देता हूँ ऐसा नहीं बोला उन्होंने आके जबकि वो कर सकते थे he could finish everyone he could have finished everyone Hanuman was such powerful warrior but he did not do although he was able to do और उन्होंने सोचा भी नहीं ऐसा कि ये क्या कर रहा है अर्जुन इसको ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए ऐसा कभी नहीं सोचा ही वॉज डूइंग हिज ड्यूटी जैसा भगवान ने उनको बोला कि तुम फ्लैग पे रहो और उधर से आपको साउट करना है बस तो ही वॉज देयर ओनली ऑलवेज सिमिलरली वी सी दिस जय एंड विजय व्हाट इज इंस्ट्रक्शन टू देम जस्ट टू स्टैंड ऑन द डोर एज गार्ड तो अनंत काल से उधर ही खड़े हैं शांतिपूर्वक वो जाके भगवान को कंप्लेन नहीं करते अरे हम लोग बोर हो गए कोई दूसरा सर्विस ऐसा नहीं तो इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू देम इज टू स्टैंड एट द डोर ऑफ वैकुंठा एंड बी देयर ओनली whenever Lord Vishnu wants he may engage in them in other services but they don't go and complain they are there only similarly just like we sang in bhajan what is the nature of living entity jiva krishna das ye vishwas kar le to jisko nahi so you see so many difficulties everyone in this material world is suffering like anything why they are suffering because they have rejected this position of krishna dasa their natural position krishna dasa so in this, the constitutional position of the soul is to serve Krishna. That is his position. But the soul has left that position and accepted another occupation to serve Maya, to serve his senses, to serve others. So because of that, he is suffering. It is dangerous for him also and for others also. Troubling others, he himself is getting troubled. So that is the reason to suffer. Because of this we are suffering. And as soon as we accept this position again, just like this Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in this bhajan, Jiva Krishna Das, ei Vishwas karle to ar dukho nahi. As soon as we accept this position again, that I am servant of Krishna, and I should serve Krishna, then immediately our all miseries will be finished. It's like in Bhagavad Gita only Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sarvam Bhaja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami Ma. That as soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, then immediately he is freed from all sinful reactions and he will become happy. He will become the happiest person. So that is the formula of happiness. People do so many things to get happiness. Many things they plan, many things they do also, but they just get momentary happiness. This says that Sita Atap Baat Varishan एक दिन जामिनी जागीरे विफल सेविनो कृपण दुर्जन चपल सुख लब लागिरे. So to get momentary happiness, people are serving, the living entity is serving Kripana Durjana, miserly and cruel people, isn't it? We can see in this world, miserly and cruel people, they are serving just to get this temporary, momentary happiness, and they are serving day and night in winter, Sita, Autumn, in the summer, raining, every season they are serving day and night, all day and night, just to get momentary happiness. Why? Because they have given up their constitutional position for their swadharma, that is service to Krishna. That's why they are suffering. Everyone is suffering because of this. So, if we want to get happiness, then we have to again come to this position of servant of Krishna. We cannot come abruptly. That will be again painful, as Krishna says here. We have to come gradually, and then ultimately we have to be fixed up again in this position of servant of Krishna. Krishna is suggesting many things. How can you be again situated in the same constitutional position of serving Krishna gradually, without difficulty? And similarly, we see in this modern world, they are acting according against their own nature. Just like we see, like in scriptures, it is said that Kalo Shuddha Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, everyone is actually Sudra. But as Srila Prabhupada says that because these Sudras have taken up the post and positions of rulers, so that's why the whole world is in difficulty. Actually, that the nature of Sudra is not to rule, and when he like rules, he takes up the position of a ruler. Then what will happen? Everything will be like we see example of Kali Yuga in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kali, the personality of Kali is like Sudra, but he has taken up the Vesha of king, and he was cutting the legs of cow and bull. So that is the business of Sudra. Otherwise, the duty of king is to give protection to cows, but the Kali Purush was killing the cows. So we see the same thing because the Sudras have taken up the position of rulership, kings. So that's why they are giving license to open slaughterhouses to kill cows, to cut the cows, to butcher the cow. So that is because of that. Because everyone is acting against their swadharma, viguna. They are acting according to viguna. So the message that we can follow from this verse that because we have given up our constitutional position as servant of Krishna, we are suffering in this material world. So, and that is like because we are acting according to against our this Swadharma, this Krishna Das. That is the reason of suffering for ourselves also, for others also. So to stop this suffering, we have to again come to the position of Krishna Das. And how can we come? By following the instructions of Krishna, which are coming down in Parambara, and they are given to us by Srila Prabhupada. How we can gradually take up this position again. And as soon as we come to that position, then we will become the happiest person, always happy. That is the message of this verse. And if we don't, and if we give up this position, then again we will be uh, suffering. And we will be again will be troubled by so many miseries, unlimited miseries. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any questions? Yes, please.
But I basically mean to say that we, as we are in the lineage of Brahmanas, but still we are working in the corporate and doing business and all of that. So that is the work of a Vaishya. So is it, as of now, because of Kalika, there is no Varnashram. So is it on the right path or is it wrong?
So, like working in corporate from salary, I think that is not Vaishya. Vaishya means Krishi, Goraksha and Vanijam. They do kheti. They are like independent only. But like working under someone is like work of Sudra. So everyone is almost the whole population is working like Sudra only nowadays. So because they are trained like that, it is not the matter of birth. It is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Krishna also says, Chaturvarnya Maya system Guna Karma Bhagasha. So he tells that it is according to Guna and Karma. So although we have taken birth in Brahmana's family, but because we are not trained like that as a Brahmana, and we are like from beginning only, our education system is like that to train people as Sudra, working class of people. So because of that, we are working like that. But Srila Prabhupada has is given this system to train everyone. Anyone can be trained as a Brahmana. There is no like उसके लिए मतलब कोई वो नहीं है, किसी चीज़ का लिमिट नहीं है डिस्टिंक्शन कि जो ब्राह्मण फैमिली में जन्म लिया उसी को ब्राह्मण के रूप में ट्रेन किया जाता नहीं. एनीवन कैन बी ट्रेंड एज ब्राह्मण. और स्पेशली इन कलयुग इट इज टोल्ड दैट कलो शूद्र संभव एंड स्क्रिप्चर से दैट जन्मना जायते शूद्र. फ्रॉम द बर्थ एवरीवन इज शूद्र. संस्कारात भवेत द्विजा. द्विजा मीन्स this Vaishya, Brahmana and Kshatriya become in Dvija category. And they can be like second initiated. So they can become Dvija by training. Training is important. Whatever we are trained in, so that decides who we are. So as of now, we have taken up training as Shudra. We are working. So now we have come to know about the training of Brahmana. We can be trained as Brahmana. So we can start off this training until the time like we are trained perfectly. Then till that time we can work. As soon as we see that now I have been trained as Brahmana, or spiritual master sees that he is now trained up, then he will tell that now you give up and you behave like Brahmana. Do work that can be done. So now there is no wrong in that, doing that, because we are trained like that. We have been trained like that, so we have to do that now. But we can be trained up, and as soon as we are trained, just like when Srila Prabhupada was preaching in Western countries beginning, so to run the temple there was no money, but his disciples were working. So one disciple was there, he wanted to give up the job because he is hearing so such philosophy, high philosophy, and so he wanted to give up. He told Srila Prabhupada that I want to give up job, but Prabhupada told that you should work and give whole money to temple, from the temple. So that is like he told that you work like that, then you will be greater than sannyasi also. So this is the but because he was working according to the instruction of spiritual master. So that is actually the highest position. So whatever we do, we should do according to the instructions of spiritual master. That is the highest position. So that is the safest and highest position. Whatever he tells, we should accept. a spiritual master and then act according to his instructions. And he knows our position. We should expose ourselves fully that this is the thing, and then he will give us instructions according to that. Similarly, we see example of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He also used to work in Coca-Cola company, a manager post, and when he accepted Srila Prabhupada as spiritual master, whatever salary he used to get, he used to give whole salary to Prabhupada only. He never gave to his wife after meeting Srila Prabhupada. He used to give to Srila Prabhupada, and whatever, and then Srila Prabhupada used to give some money to his wife to run the family. Whatever that money was given, so they have to run with that. So spiritual master gives. And now you see, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, pure devotee, inspiration for acts of people. So this is how this gradual process we can become like that. Anyone can do that. It's up to us. If we don't do that, then we have to face the results of our own activities. But as soon as we act according to the instruction of the spiritual master, instructions of Krishna, then that reaction will not come. That will be taken care by Guru and Krishna. That is the highest and safest position. Srila Prabhupada's disciples were like, they were so much dedicated that they used to say, even if Prabhupada says me to jump from the building, I will jump. Like that, they were so dedicated. So that's why they got fully mercy. So, till the time we are not trained up in some another one of them, we have to act according to that. There is no wrong in that. But when we have opportunity, then we should take the training, higher training, and uh, become a Brahmana, bona fide Brahmana. Then you can give up. Any other question? Similarly, we see this danger of acting against the nature. Just like we see nowadays, that nature of human is like one book was written by journalist Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj also. Humans, mothers or masters. So their role is different, their nature is different in society. But artificially nowadays this propaganda is propagated that they should be equal and they can do whatever men also can do. That is not possible. The time of Srila Prabhupada also this was going on in Western countries. This equality for a system. And at that time Srila Prabhupada condemned this system very much because of this, and he answered every question in this matter. Once one lady reporter came to Srila Prabhupada and she asked, then according to scriptures, they said that women are less intelligent. It is told. So Prabhupada used to say like that. So the lady reporter was very upset with this statement. She came and asked Prabhupada that Swami, you say that women are less intelligent. Is it right? Prabhupada told her that if you think that you are a woman, then you are less intelligent. If you think you are a woman, then this is on material